What's up, it's you for today's video with a full immunity Pokemon team. Now, there actually really isn't many immunity Pokemon at all. There's only Snorlax, Gligar, and Zangoose, surprisingly. I actually thought there might be a few more. So I'm going to be using 2 Snorlax, 2 Gligar, and 2 Zangoose on my team. Now, these Pokemon do share some type, with Snorlax and Zangoose being normal type Pokemon. So it was a fairly difficult team to run there, being weak to certain types of moves. Today, we have got 5 battles with this team, so I hope you enjoy. If you enjoy the videos, people who want to support the channel, make sure you hit that like button and leave me a comment there below, and let's get into it. So our first Pokemon battle here, this one's on the Poke Portal, and we have a Greninja lead. If someone wants to translate these trainer names, please do. I always appreciate that. So this Snorlax was a special Snorlax, only on Pidgeot's channel. We've got a Choice Spec set. Now, it was really funny, because the first move the Greninja used was Toxic Spikes. I'm like, oh, that's great, you know. So pretty much that's going to be useless against my whole team. So I'm going to be unloading a Hyper Beam Choice Specs with my Snorlax, getting me a nice little early lead. This Snorlax was max health and max special attack modest nature, so I tried to give it lots of bulk while giving as much special attack as possible. Even, you know, Snorlax special attack isn't really that great anyway, so with the Choice Specs, it actually hit pretty hard. So we've got a Chien-Pao coming in here. Unfortunately, I couldn't live that second Sacred Sword. I was hoping to get another Hyper Beam off, but Snorlax is going to be going down. That was Terra Psychic as well, if you didn't notice that. Terra Blast Psychic. So next Pokemon is Zangoose. So this is my Choice Scarf Zangoose. I've got Final Gambit, Switcheroo, Crush Claw, and Throat Chop. Max health and max speed. I tried to really make use of Final Gambit for difficult Pokemon that were very fast, a huge threat to this team like Chien-Pao, or just like really crazy bulky Pokemon, whether they be defensive or you know, special defensive. So I thought about this for a bit, and I was like, I'm just going to go for it. I hope it doesn't have Focus Sash. Chien-Pao did not have Focus Sash. That was very good, and I thought they'd go for Sacred Sword again rather than something like Ice Shard. So that is Chien-Pao down, but I also lost my Zangoose, which is a bit unfortunate. That had Terra-type Ghost as well. Our next Pokemon is going to be Arceus. This is Water Arceus, I believe. And Snorlax, the next one is going to be a Fissure set. So this is a Sleep Talk Fissure set Snorlax. So I went for Fissure, and I actually got it on the very first go, which is really cool. So getting rid of that Pokemon in one shot was awesome. So I only took around half health too. So I always have room to maybe go for another rest here. This Snorlax was a Terra-type Ghost as well. We got Staffberry as the item, Fissure, Rest, Sleep Talk, and Smackdown. Smackdown was just there for any Pokemon that were flying types or had the Levitate ability. Max health and max defense, impish nature. So our next Pokemon, it was Duskmane, and this thing is obviously quite a threatening Pokemon. So it's going to be hitting me very hard with a Prismatic Laser, and Fissure is going to miss. I probably could have gone for rest there, but I wasn't really sure how much damage it was going to do to me, so I wanted to, you know, at least get one of them off. Fortunately, I had a recharge move there, so I could get a rest off, which is really cool. So Snorlax is hopefully going to be able to get a Sleep Talk and maybe hit this thing with a Fissure too. This was a fairly bulky team, so they're going to go for a Prismatic Laser again. That's doing underwhelming damage, which is really cool. And here I can just hope that I can roll a Fissure with Sleep Talk. The only thing is that, you know, if I got rest a few times in a row, that'd be really bad, but I was hoping that didn't happen. So I got Smackdown, which, you know, did donkeys. The only good thing here, they were recharging, so it actually allowed me to use Sleep Talk, and I only needed like 1 Sleep Talk while they were having 1 turn to recharge, and then I'd be able to wake up again there. So I got another Smackdown there, and oh, look at that critical hit. So I got some mega damage, like you can't deny that. So I went for Fissure again. I was like, I'm just gonna go for Fissure on this thing. They're gonna go for Sunsteel Strike this time against my Snorlax. That does around the same damage. I'm gonna be waking up here and hopefully getting Fissure again, but it did not happen. when you land a attacking move too, you can tell by the like how much text there is too. So I was thinking about this for a bit. Do I keep trying to stall them here with Rest and Fissure, or do I just go for Fissure again and hopefully I'll land that attack? That's what I was thinking about. Is I thought, well, they might rage quit if I keep going for Rest, and can keep healing off my Snorlax and eventually hopefully landing. So I went for Fissure and I was like, you know what, let's go for it. They're going to go for Stun Steel Strike instead of Prismatic Laser. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to heal this turn as quick. But then they critted me. I'm like, oh, it didn't really matter what I went for there. I was always going to be fainting this turn. So like, all right. I've got some powerful Pokemon left to deal with. Let's see if I can deal with them. So next one is Gligar. Gligar, this set is a sweeping set. I got Sword Dance, Earthquake, Dual Wing Beat, and Terra Blast Ice. I thought Terra Blast Ice could be a fun Terra for this too. So I'm going to be outspeeding the Necrozma. Seems to be mostly invested in bulk and attack. Gligar has some actually pretty decent speed stat too. So this is Jolly Nature, as you probably guess. I've got Everlight as the item too, so it makes it a little bit more tankier for physical type moves. So I've got that Sword Dance up here. I was actually thinking if I should try and risk going for another one, but I thought, I'll just go for Earthquake and see how much it does. So had +2 up, and it didn't really do too much because this thing started setting up Iron Defenses too. So I thought maybe I should try and match those boosts there with them, or maybe should just keep attacking this thing and get some damage on it, because a lot of my team couldn't do too much damage to this anymore. I had a set up Pokemon in the back and another Gligar, but they weren't really cutting out for big damage. So I went for Earthquake again, got some good damage. Stun Steel Strike is not going to do very much to Gligar. I'm going to be able to resist that, really heavily. And that's like a 3-hit KO, which is nice. So I can go for another Earthquake and pretty much finish this off. And we have 2 more Pokemon in the back. So things are going pretty good at the moment. We have some quite bulky Pokemon to deal with here. There was one Pokemon in the back which I was really, really concerned about. And I was wondering how I was actually going to get around it too. And of course, that Pokemon is coming out, and it's Calyrex. So I've lost 3 normal Pokemon, right? So I've got 1 more normal Pokemon left. And the reason I say that is because if it uses its signature move, Astral Barrage, at least I can swap into that. I don't want to give this thing any Grim Neigh boost at all, because that's going to destroy my team. So we've got Calyrex coming out. Of course, they're going to go for a little Timmy Terra here. I kind of guessed it. I went into Zangoose because I thought, well, at least if they go for their signature move, it's not going to affect me. And I've also got Night Slash on this too. However, they're going to go for Stellar Calyrex and go Terra Blast. I'm like, that sucks, because that's not going to be a free swap in now. So this Zangoose is actually max health and max attack belly drum set. So I do take that one okay. And I also have the Citrus Berry as the as my item here too on this Zangoose. It was quite a bulky set, which allowed me possibly to get a Night Slash off here. But I thought, well, they're just going to go for that attacking move again. Should I risk this, judging on the damage that they did to me, or not? I was really thinking about what I should do here, because if I lost my Zangoose, then they could just go for Astral Barrage. However, we got the opponent swapping out here. So, okay, that's interesting. So I couldn't eat my berry there. You're probably wondering, but if you forgot, I was affected by the Unnerve ability. So that gave me my health back, which is really, really good. So we're going to swap out here into Dragapult, which is interesting, another Ghost-type Pokemon. I actually went for Night Slash there, and I got great damage on Dragapult. That was Adamant Nature too. So I thought, well, if I go for another one, that'll be good. But I smell a rat here. They've obviously swapped into this for a reason. Let's swap into other Gligar and see what they're going to do. This is my sweeping set, which is probably the most expendable at the moment. So they're going to go for Dragon Dart. That doesn't really do a lot of damage because Gligar's got some nice base defense plus Everlight. I knew I wouldn't be able to outspeed them anyway, and then went for Sucker Punch. I'm like, well, I wouldn't have outsped them anyway, right? So Sucker Punch. So that's the end of Gligar. So I've got 1 Gligar left and 1 Zangoose left. The proper Pokemon was Calyrex if my Zangoose did faint. And this Gligar couldn't probably deal with Calyrex so well because it was a Toxic and Sand Tomb trapping set, a defensive wall. So it wasn't really that special defensive. I knew that I could get past this Dragapult here because it seemed to be primarily a physical attacker, and that wasn't going to be too much of a problem. So they went for Sucker Punch here again, which is interesting. So maybe they were choiced. I went for Toxic anyway, so I poisoned the Dragapult here. If I did get a swap into Calyrex, the Calyrex would then have to swap into a Sand Tomb. So I wasn't really too worried about that. I was kind of worried about giving this Gligar, if this Gligar were to get hit by Astral Barrage and then giving that Calyrex a boost in special attack there, then I'd have to face a Terra Blast, and that would do a lot of damage. So I got the Sand Tomb off anyway on the Dragapult. Dragapult is going to die in the next turn, which is perfect. I've got the option, this turn, because I've got the Sand Tomb there. Now, I do have the option to go for Restia if Calyrex does go for the same move it did before, or maybe it could be a bad idea if I do that, so I might have a set-on move. I wasn't 100% sure, plus I wasn't sure if there was a Focus Sash involved or anything like that too. So I'm not going to say swap into my Zangoose. I actually was thinking about it. I was like, maybe the best thing is, I've got Terra Fighting on this too, if you didn't notice that. So we've got Terra Fighting. That was more of like, I don't know, that was more of like a defensive one, I guess. Now they're going to go for Terra Blast again. I was like, all right, let's see how much this actually does to me. It doesn't actually do that much damage, so I wasn't really concerned. Like, oh, I can go for a Toxic or a Sand Tomb here, and that'll be great. But Toxic Miss, I was like, oh, that sucks so much. So at least that could have got rid of a Sash there. Like, maybe their choice, they've only really used that move so far, but they might have only done that because expecting Zangoose to come in and such like that. So I wasn't 100% sure. So like, if I go Restia and then I can go Sleep Talk, I should be able to get a Toxic or a Sand Tomb. One of the two will be great. And they've already dropped their special attack by one stage anyway, so even if I do actually faint in this matchup, I'm not going to be giving any stat boosts or anything away. That was sort of my thought process there. So I was like, well, I'll go for Restia and give that a go. Now the reason I put Fighting on, I'm trying to think actually why I put Fighting on here. I think I did it. I was actually thinking about doing Terra Blast as well, but then I changed my mind. Anyway, so they're going to go for the Stellar Astral Barrage. That's going to get a boost on there, and that's going to be enough to take out Gligar. I almost went into Zangoose. I was very, very close, but as I said, I couldn't really risk that. So basically, their stats are what they were before. Now, I do have a little bit of extra health from the Citrus Berry that I already ate previously. So I was like, well, Night Slash is going to faint them. I've got Terra Normal here. There's no point doing that at all. I'm just going to have to go for Night Slash and hope that I, live that. So I managed just to live the Terra Blast there, which is awesome, and I can go for Night Slash here. Now, it isn't going to be quad super effective, but Calyrex isn't really bulky on the defensive side at all, and it is going to get dropped like a stone, and that is the end of the very first battle. Hope you enjoyed that. That Calyrex was pretty scary there. So I hope they enjoyed that. Whoever they were, I bet they enjoyed some of those sets there, that Choice Scarf, Zangoose, and things like that. All right, we got the next battle here. I'm not sure who this is against either, but we have got a Hoopa. Now, this opponent only had 4 Pokemon. They only had 4 on their team, but I think they were pretty confident that they were going to win. So we got that. We got a Hoopa Unbound here. It's going to use Hyperspace Hole, and then it stole my Choice Specs. I was like, oh no. So with the Magician ability, if you're not holding an item, you can actually steal the opponent's item when obviously you hit them with an attack or get hit, right? So it's actually a pretty interesting ability. I don't know whether I've done that team before. I think that I have, but I'm pretty sure it's like Hooper and Delphox and another cool one that gets it is Klefki as well. I'm very, very sure that I've done that team before. Anyway, that's the end of my Snorlax, unfortunately. And now we've got Zangoose. I thought, well, Zangoose could get around this with Final Gambit just to get rid of this Pokemon. So I'm going for Final Gambit right in the hole, and that is going to be enough to take out Hoopa. So that's very, very good. Since I've only got 4 Pokemon too, I guess I can expend one of mine there. That's fine. So, and that was pretty, Hoopa with the Choice Specs was, that was pretty threatening. So bringing in my Sand Tomb Gligar now, things are looking all right here. And then we've got a Regigigas coming in here. Now, the Regigigas could be a threat, so I thought I'll get Toxic up because I'm sure they've got something like Protect at least. I was a little bit worried about Substitute as well. Good thing is I did outspeed them and they went Crush Grip. So Crush Grip's not going to do much at all. You don't actually get to see Crush Grip very often either. It is, I think Regigigas was the first Pokemon to actually get that. Then other Pokemon throughout the series did get that. So Regigigas is going to have Heavy Slam. That it pretty much has it can't touch my Gligar at all. It really can't. Even you have to wait for the slow start to activate there, to actually do some damage here. But judging on the amount of damage I'm doing with Toxics, like say if you Toxic a Pokemon, right, they then are on borrowed time. They've got 6 turns to live there outside of healing moves and items and stuff like that. Then the Regigigas revealed that it had a Protect, which is fine. I mean, I don't think that would have changed the outcome of this too much. It would have maybe gain one extra turn of living in this matchup here. So that's 4 turns gone. So slow start is almost is going to end this turn. However, as you can see, this is the last turn, and Regigigas is going to faint here. Unless it has something like rest or a recovery move to get rid of that poison. So that is the end of Regigigas there. It couldn't touch the Gligar at all. It's like far too bulky. So that's 2 Pokemon down there. So things are going pretty good at the moment. I've got control of this match. And then we've got another Duskmane coming. So Duskmane is always quite a threat to this team once I lose Zangoose or I don't have my setup Gligar. So they're going to miss their attack. Sorry, I'm going to miss my attack. Then they went for Prismatic Laser. And that did a lot of damage to my Gligar. So I thought, I'll go Sand Tomb here and I'll trap them in and get some damage on them. That could be like a first good sort of step here. This thing, it still gets hit pretty hard by that, and then the added effects of Sand Tomb afterwards. Now, with this Gligar, I could actually go for Rest here and heal myself off and then keep going for Sand Tomb and stuff like that. That wouldn't be too bad at all. I could kind of weaken it there. So I decided to go for Rest since I was outspeeding as well. I'm assuming they were running any speed on the side. So they're going for like max health and max attack EVs. So Gligar's got all of its health back there. Now they're going to go. It's actually kind of similar to the Pokemon in the very first battle. Same kind of scenario here, using their most powerful move. But really, Gligar was just far too tanky for for them to even get around here. Actually, I was thinking it too. I've got a question for you all. What other Pokemon out there do you think should get the immunity ability? If you could think of one Pokemon, so we've only got 3 Pokemon that get it, what would be a Pokemon that you think, oh, it's strange that Pokemon, could be poison. But let's take Pokemon out of the equation that are already poison types. How about that? Like, we'll make it a little bit of a challenge there. I'm trying to think of one myself. Maybe someone that or a Pokemon that looks like it could deal with poison moves a lot, Maybe we've got Zangoose makes sense, right? Because that's like Seviper's rival, so it's used to that poison, right? So something along those lines, something that makes like logical sense, maybe. I don't know. I'd love to see your answers in the comment section. Tell me a Pokemon that you believe could have immunity that would be rather nice. So anyway, I was doing a little bit of resting here. I was doing some rest and putting the opponent to the test. I think they were getting a little bit upset here. My Gligar was actually not fainting. They were throwing every single move they possibly, possibly could at it. So that's like seriously, that's like a 5-hit KO. So finally they're freed from the Sand Tomb. They got a little bit of health left there. I'm sleeping this, and I'm hoping I can get a roll of Sand Tomb just to finish them off. And then I do have another Steel type after this as well, and then I got Toxic, mate. Oh, that kind of sucks. I would have loved to finish off Sandstorm, and then we got Photon Geyser. That's not going to do very much either. So they got Prismatic Laser, Photon Geyser, Sunsteel Strike. All the spam. I don't think they've used their other move yet. Anyway, and go for Sleep Talk, and then I got the Sand Tomb. So that is going to be Duskmane Necrozma's Tomb. And we got a Rage Quit there. So there you go, people. We got a salty Rage Quit against the Gligar. So the little Timmy legendaries weren't able to overcome the tiny little Flying Scorpion. So there you go. We always have to introduce a bit of salt into the videos, right? Next battle, this one is against Will, and we have a theme team here. I wonder if you can guess, exactly what it is. So first Pokemon is Pelipper. Now, Pelipper's got some reasonable bulk to it, so I'm thinking it's going to be our liver Hyper Beam, a Choice Specs Hyper Beam. Not, what does Snorlax have in the special day? I think it's like 50 or something like that. 65. Amazing special attack base set. So it's a base 65 special attack and max special attack. It probably still won't take Pelipper. It should do some pretty good damage there. So my Snorlax is confused, and of course it's going to hit itself in confusion on the very first go. So that was a very, very good start to the battle. So maybe if you think about, I'm thinking like so far, like what's this theme? Maybe this team has something to do with like the moves that is being used and stuff like that, and the nicknames. So the Hurricane actually misses there, which is good, and I managed to get a Hyper Beam on Pelipper. I was like, this should do some great damage, but it actually took it out in one shot, which surprised me. So maybe that Pelipper was more speed and special attack investor. No bulk at all. So anyway, we got the Arcanine coming using Thrash, which is interesting. And Snorlax is recharging this turn, so I can't really do a lot. So like, well, I'll go for Hyper Beam again. I'm Choice Scarf. There's no point going for Terra because it's using a normal type move, right? So I lived on 69 health, which is really, really good. I was hoping I didn't hit myself in Confusion again, and of course I did. So that was really good because I think Arcanine would have taken real heavy damage here. So Snorlax is going to be fainted there. He got kicked and punched by an Arcanine. So that I don't know how Arcanine punches, but I guess it uses its front legs to do that, So I thought we could go into my next Snorlax with Fissure. Then it had a Person Berry too, so Person Berry heals off a Confusion, so I got that strategy going. So I decided to change things to go into Gligar. This is my sweeping Gligar set with Earthquake. I was pretty confident I could get a Sword Dance up here in this matchup in case it had something like a Will-O-Wisp. I wasn't really sure here. I was thinking maybe I should swap in case. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for the Earthquake. So it's going to use Raging Fury, and you might be able to see a little pattern to their attacks there. So Raging Fury is actually a critical hit against me. Thanks to Gligar's insane bulk. And that crit actually mattered. So that's the end of I don't think that it mattered. Like I was trying to be sarcastic there, but it didn't work. Anyway, so next Pokemon we got here, we got that Galar Weezing. So this is going to be super effective too, which is good. But I don't have that much health left, so I thought I probably won't be able to live like one attack here. And then I got outsped by that thing. I'm like, wait, that's a Choice Scarf Galar Weezing. So like, all right, we've got to go into Zangoose here, and we've got to go for that Final Gambit. So Final Gambit is going to be able to outspeed, or I was thinking about going for Switcheroo there to troll, but I was like, nah, I'll go for Final Gambit. I know what item they've got there, and that is going to be the end of Weezing, which is good. So they got that Choice Scarf Galar Weezing. We all know how fast that Pokemon is. That was actually kind of tiny too, so maybe that was like a small version of it. Anyway, into my second Gligar now. This is my very, very defensive set. And we have got a Honchkrow here. So Honchkrow might be a critting set, and I can't hit it with Sand Tomb. So the best I can really do is go for Toxic. I certainly don't want to go for Terra Fighting at all, because that would be very, very bad against any flying type moves. So I managed to outspeed this thing, which is interesting, and it's going to go for Swagger. I'm like, oh, okay, this would be good if I had a move that I could actually land on it, but I don't. I've only got ground type moves. I probably need Snorlax to use Smackdown, and then I could come in and use that against it. But I doubt that is going to be happening. So I'm going to swap out my Gligar, since I'm probably going to hit myself a Confusion again, and I'm going to go into Snorlax, because Snorlax can have use Smackdown and then Fissure. Even if, let's say, I don't even land Fissure, it's going to be fine with Smackdown. So Hurricane isn't going to do too much for Snorlax, but of course I do get paralyzed as well. Man, like, what is this? Actually, I've been confused a fair bit this battle. I'm getting flustered. So anyway, we got this pink Honchkrow. I've got Smackdown. That's going to do some good damage. I reckon that'll be like a 2-hit KO. Then it's going to use Flatter, so Snorlax dances for the first time, and it's maybe Snorlax dances when it has its food. I'm not sure when it's very, very hungry. It's got that rumbling stomach. So we're going to go for Smackdown, and that does pretty good damage there. Now I can actually hit the Honchkrow with the ground type move, because it is grounded. But I'm thinking even if I don't, it's going to die to the Toxic anyway. So it's got Flatter, and it's got Hurricane as well. So it seems to be a special set. So here comes another Hurricane on Snorlax. That's like a 4-hit KO. I actually snap out of Confusion pretty quick this time. I decided to go for Smackdown here, just in case it lived on 1 health or something after the after that Toxic damage there, because I probably would have got confused again. Now the next Pokemon here we're gonna have is Lilligant. So I'm figuring some sort of grass type move. I've got Fissure. I thought, well, I'll go for Fissure. Now it's going to use Petal Dance. So this has a lot of special attack, but Snorlax, as you know, has like a lot of bulk too. So I've got my Starberry here. It's like, please give me like a some sort of like stat boost there that's helpful. It was okay, but the Fissure did miss. Unfortunately, I don't really have enough health to make use of that anyway, so Lilligant is going to faint my Snorlax. So both my Snorlax are gone. I've got 1 Gligar and 1 Zangoose left. So I thought I'll go into my bulky Gligar and put a Toxic on this. I know that I'm going to get hit pretty hard by this, but I do have a plan, because I've got my Zangoose with Quick Day. Now it's going to use Alluring Voice. So Alluring Voice doesn't really do all that much damage to me. And I managed to get the Toxic up against Lilligant too. So that might be helpful when I've got my Zangoose. I feel I'm not going to live, it's Petal Dance very well. I'm thinking I might be able to live like one. Then it's going to go for Teeter Dance. Man, I'm confused. How many times have I been confused? I think I've been confused 4 times now. Wait, Snorlax got confused at the start. Gligar got confused, the other Snorlax got confused, and then I think that Zangoose got confused. No, the other Gligar got confused. Now I'm getting confused. Anyway, so I'm going to go for Sandstorm or Sand Tomb. They're trapping you in there. I've had some good Sand Tomb, Sandstorm trapping sets as well, just as thinking about that. Now I've got it down to about half health, which is good. So here comes the Petal Dance, and that's going to crit me as yep, I'm not living that, definitely. I think I would have lived one if it wasn't a crit, but it would have been kind of nasty. I would have been in some really, really low health. So my last Pokemon here is Zangoose. So I was like, well, I've got a substitute up here. Maybe I could go for Sub, and then I could go for Quick Attack, or I could go for a Terra Normal Quick Attack. Will this be enough to take out the Lilligant? I reckon it will. Or I could go for Belly Drum, but I don't think Belly Drum is going to be smart there, because let's say I outspeed and get Belly Drum. Then I got my Citrus Berry. I'd have to actually live the Petal Dance. So I sort of, actually went against that, right? And went for the substitute, right? So I thought that'd be a better play. So I got outsped. I got hit super hard because I was running max health here, by the way. And I managed to get the substitute up, which is very, very good. So I got that going, and I managed to get the sub up. Now I can go for Quick Attack. If I wasn't running max health, there's no way I would have lived that, right? So I'm going for Quick Attack here. I outsped, and Lilligant only has a bit of health left anyway. I possibly could have gone for Terra Normal and finished that before the substitute, but that was actually a better situation because the last Pokemon was a Medicham. So I thought, unless Medicham's going to clap them cheeks or fake out, I should be able to go for Terra Normal Quick Attack and to shot this. Unless it's got some sort of move or crazy bulk or something like that. I wasn't really sure anyway. So I was like, Quick Attack should be a 2-hit KO. I think we're right. Or I could, bypass my substitute with some sort of troll move. So I'm going to go for Terra Normal anyway. I had to do that. I needed to power up my Quick Attack a little bit more. Plus, I didn't have Belly Drum or anything like that up there either. This is sort of I don't know why you'd run Immunity on Zangoose anyway. It's absolutely terrible compared to Toxic Boost. There really is no reason to run Immunity at all. So go for Quick Attack. That did just above half. So I'm like, uh-oh. So Dynamic Punch was meant. That was a bold move using Dynamic Punch, and it's got Blunder Policy as well. So boosting its speed 2 stages. So I definitely am going to get outsped by this thing. I've got Quick Attack again, and now we've got a Terra, mate. I really, really hope this isn't Terra Ghost, right? Because that would be very bad against this team, and it's Terra fighting. So Medicham got those long flowing Aladdin pants on, right? So we're gonna go for that Quick Attack. It obviously is a 3-hit KO, unless I got a critical hit, which I didn't. So I got around the same damage here. So we go Dynamic Punch and then Axe Kick. Oh, okay, I see. So it was Axe Kick Blunder Policy as well. I hate when you miss Axe Kick. And Axe Kick can also confuse you as well. So it was a good thing I didn't get hit by that, because I know I probably would have got confused. So this is the last turn. I've got Quick Attack. I don't think Medicham can outspeed me here unless it has some kind of priority move. Hit it in its long flowing Aladdin pants, and that is going to be the end of Medicham. So a pretty cool team there. I was a little bit confused by that team. Let's get on to battle number 5. We got 5 battles, say a couple of battles less, because these battles are really, really long with this team, kind of, due to my Snorlax and things like that. All right, this is a battle against Art, and we do have a team here as well. Let me see if you can guess what it is. Now, our first Pokemon here is going to be a Azumarill. So Azumarill can, do quite a few different things here. I've got my Snorlax as the first Pokemon, so I tended to lead with this Snorlax a lot because I found it was a good surprise lead, or just a good chunk of damage, right? So I've got Terra Blast Psychic, which there really isn't much point, and Focus Blast is out, and Fire Blast is out. So I have to go for Hyper Beam, and I was kind of curious how much I was like, this should be a 2-hit KO. Then the Azumarill used Light Screen. I'm like, oh, come on. So that's going to do nothing now. So Snorlax's Hyper Beam, let's have a look at this. It's still a 3-hit KO. It's not too bad, but it's not too bad either. Too good either. So then it had red cards. So it had light screen and red cards. So that actually turned out well because I wasn't trapped into using them. So I went into my Zangoose. This is my physical set, as you know, or my Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf Final Gambit set. I did think about going for Final Gambit here. I really did, but I thought, do I want to waste my Final Gambit user on a light screen Azumarill? Do I really want to do that? So I swapped out my Zangoose, and I was thinking, right, well, I'll go back into Snorlax again. It still is a 3-hit KO. I doubt that Azumarill will do much damage to it all, you know what I mean? So then he uses Aquaring. I'm like, that's annoying. So it's now going to get some extra health back. So suddenly my 3-hit KO is probably going to turn into a 4-hit KO, but at least I've already fired off, one of those already. So I thought that's still probably my best play here. At least I get to see what moves. It's got Aquaring and Light Screen. Then it used Metronome. I'm like, oh no, it can use anything. So it's going to go for a Tail Slap here. So Tail Slap, it's going to hit me with its little ball. It's like a little you could say Azumarill's tail is like a prison ball, right? You know those things they put on you in prison, those ball and chain things. It's kind of like that, but like a mini version. The ball's obviously going to be a lot bigger than that little one. It's that's the size of a tennis ball. Anyway, so it's going to use Present, and Present actually healed me, which is, very nicely opponent. Thank you so much for healing me. I'm very, very happy about that sort of thing. So we've got another Metronome here. The only thing that would be bad would be some sort of 1-hit KO move and then use Ice Beam. So I wasn't running thick fat, but I'm still kind of thick, right? Really, I'm trying to wait for these light screened, to actually wear off here. So Azumarill was literally on its last legs here, unless they pull out a really, really crazy lucky move. Light screen is gone. Here comes another Metronome. I'm on recharge this hand. Then he uses Zap Cannon. So Zap Cannon is not going to land, which is good because I don't really want to be paralyzed. And I can go for my final Hyper Beam this turn. I feel like I definitely can take it out whether it uses light screen or not. So I'm thinking they might go for an attacking move instead. So they rolled that wasn't Metronome. That was just a normal Present. So that was a normal Present, not Metronome Cold. And I think they rolled 20 base power. That was actually a team I wanted to do as well. Like moves like Present, like random damage moves. Like you got Present, you got Psy Wave, you got Magnitude, like moves like that. But I don't think I can't actually make a team out of them because quite a few of them have been removed from the game, which sucks. But I'd really like to do a team like that one day. I know that I have in the past, but it's been such a long time, and I quite like using moves like that. It can be quite fun. So I'm going to be swapping out my Snorlax. We got a Solgaleo here, and I'm thinking, well, Gligar should be able to take this one. And then it was a special Solgaleo. I'm like, oh no, I gotta get rid of this thing. It's gonna sweep my team. I don't know what sort of moves they're gonna be using though, but it's a threat, right? So I've got Sword Dance, I got Earthquake. I thought about going for Sword Dance here, but I thought, this isn't really, as you know, invested in special defense at all. It's got way better defense, even just base. So I need to hit this hard, right? But we've got a Terra Normal Solgaleo. So Solgaleo is gonna get out of spec, which is cool, and I get pretty much no damage there because this thing obviously is invested in bulk and special attack. It's going to be a Terra Normal Swift, and holy smokes, that does some damage. Like, this is very, very bad. So I'm hoping for a Sympathy crit here, and I never got one. That was like a 5-hit KO for Earthquake. That was terrible. So it's going to use Swift again, and I don't want to be swept by a Swift Solgaleo, right? I'm going to get roasted for that. So I've got to take this Pokemon out, right? So I thought, all right. We got the homie Snorlax here. Snorlax might be able to do some good damage. Take that Swift nicely. You're not going to hear that sentence ever again. So I'm going for, I outsped it. I was like, what? So I went for Focus Mist and it lived. I was like, no. And then they use Roar. So it's, what is this? It's, come on, Roar and Swift. What the heck? I don't know. I'm not sort of like moveset that's coming from me. So next Pokemon is going to be this Gligar. I'm getting dragged out here. Not very happy about getting swept. And it's going to use Swift again. So it obviously is not going to use Roar this turn. And Swift does a lot of damage. Almost take out my Gligar. My bulky one too. So Sandtomb is going to be enough to take out the Swift Solgaleo. Very, 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 very scary set there. I actually kind of like how Terra Normal blends in with Solgaleo's head there. It's almost invisible. Next Pokemon we got is, what does this say, Quistis? Quistis? I have no idea. I have no idea what this team is. Someone's got to enlighten me. So we've got a substitute here, and I went Toxic. So that sucks. They got a free turn of sub up there. Now, Serena can do quite a few different sort of strategies. So I've got Sand Tomb. I know that Sand Tomb's not going to break the sub, but I need to break that sub, right? So here comes Power Whip, and there's no way I'm going to live that. Even from my bulky set there, that's a pretty powerful move. So that's the end of Gligar. So both my Gligars are gone, which is bad. So I went into my Snorlax here, my special one. I certainly wasn't going to go into my Fissure one, because it already had sub up and had Fire Blast. I thought, oh, Fire Blast could be handy here. I was thinking about Terra Psyche. I was like, nah, I'll go Fire Blast. At least it's super effective, right? So here comes the Power. That does a lot of damage. Like, man, that's bad. But at least I can break the sub here. So Fire Blast did not miss. I was happy about that. It's now exposed. If they want to use sub again, I guess they can, but I can at least have something to break down in one shot, you know. Serena is definitely not going to be able to, keep living those attacks, right? So I'm going for Fire Blast, and then the Serena's going to go for sub again. So, all right, I think either their strategy is here, knowing what Serena's moveset is, very, very well. They're either waiting for me to miss. Actually, three things. They're either waiting for me to miss, they're waiting for a Pinch Berry to activate, whether it activates its attack or speed or something like that, or they're waiting for a move like Flail, so they're on a lower mana health. So that sort of tells the story there. The great thing about this is Snorlax, which is the absolute GOAT, like special Snorlax, only on Pinwise channel, actually doesn't miss at all. It kept landing the Fire Blast over and over again, which is really, really good, because this is a big problem here, because I don't have a lot of priority on this team outside of Quick Attack, and all my defensive walls have already fainted here. So Snorlax was the GOAT, landing all the Fire Blasts you could possibly ever land there. So I was getting pretty close to running out of PP for Fire Blast. I think I used how many? I used 4 of them. Okay, this would be my 5th one. So I had a little bit left. Then it had a berry. So okay, I was right about the berry. It was a Custap berry, but it had Flail as well. So I was right about both things there going through my mind. So it was a berry and there was Flail. So this is the threat. Now, I can't use a priority move because this Pokemon has Queenly Majesty, and that blocks all priority moves. So I have to beat this with Choice Scarf. That's the only way, right? If that Custap Berry was a Salac Berry, I would have been in a world of pain. So I took it out with the Disrespect Throat Chop, and that is Serena down. So all is well at the moment. The next Pokemon is Pawmot. Now, I don't know whether Pawmot's got Revival Blessing or not, but I don't like it at all. So I got to swap out, and I got to go into another Pokemon. So I thought, I'll go into my Fissure Snorlax. Let's see what we can do here. Now, this Snorlax does have Ghost as well, Terra Ghost. So I thought maybe if they try a fighting move, I could go for that. But I didn't want to use it yet. So they went for Knockoff. I'm glad I didn't go for Terra Ghost there. Staff Bearer is now gone. So I thought, all right, that's okay. I went for Fissure. Fissure's going to miss. I thought, well, I could go for Rest here to see what they're going to do, or I could go for Fissure again. Now, I went for Fissure again, and they're going to go for Giga Impact. That doesn't do too much damage. So I thought, oh, maybe I could go for Terra Ghost here, because clearly they don't have a fighting move, as I would have used it already. So it's some kind of moveset based on the theme team that they're doing, right? So Fissure is going to miss again while they're recharging. So I thought, you know what? Let's go for Terra Ghost. I'm probably going to regret going for this, but we'll try it anyway. Sometimes, when you're in a battle, you want to try something out, or you want to go for something risky. Sometimes it can work, and it can change the tide of the battle there. So Snorlax has got a big Ghost on it. That's probably one of the biggest ghosts you can get. Giga Impact obviously is going to slip on right through the Ghost Snorlax, and Fissure landed on the very first go of me going for a Terra Ghost. So that was very, very lucky. So no Focus Sash there on the Pawmot. So I was happy about that, and nothing like a Fissure KO, right? Now, the next Pokemon to come out here is going to be threatening. It's going to be Inteleon. So I thought, well, I'll go for Fissure again. May as well go for it. I won't go for Rest in case it's got some sort of setup or something like that. So go for Fissure. Here comes the Snipe Shot. Snorlax is so bulky, it lifted it, but then it landed another Fissure. I'm like, wow, that was very, very lucky. 2 Fissures back to back. So I'm getting some crazy luck here, and that Terra was definitely worth it. Well, maybe for the Pawmot, it's definitely worth it. So last Pokemon is Rinoa. Okay, so it was a Lycanroc. I thought, oh, I'm cooked here. I'll just go for Fissure. Then they went for Protect. I'm like, okay, maybe they're trying to stall my Fissures out, because I've used it quite a few times. I've got 8 Fissures all up, but I do have access to Sleep Talk as well. So the move after this puzzled me, because they used Last Resort. So I thought, oh, it only has Protect and Last Resort, but I've got to land Fissure here. So I'm going for Fissure, and I'm missing. So I need to land Fissure to actually take this thing out here. So I'm going for Fissure again, hoping that I can land this, because obviously if I run out of Fissure, I could try and go for Rest Sleep Talk, but if they've got nothing to do damage-wise to me and I go Rest and Sleep Talk, the next turn I'll run out of Fissure. Eventually I'm going to run out of Fissures and only have Smackdown, which will be a 200 hit KO. So I had to swap out there because they were walled and I was walled, essentially. And then they went for Last Resort of my Zangoose. So Zangoose was actually able to live that, which is rather nice. But I knew that I get outsped this turn, so I thought, in case I've got a Focus Sash, it might be a good idea to get some damage from Quick Attack. I know that it won't do very much, but at least if it does have that item, it'll actually feint it. So that's the end of my Zangoose. Now, I still have Snorlax in the back in case I need to win via health versus like the timer, but I didn't want to timer stall them at this stage. I'm not a scumbag like that. So we're going to go into our next Zangoose. This is the Choice Scarf one. I've got that final Gambit. I outspeed, and that is the end of the Lycanroc. So Snorlax is still in the back when I swapped it out before. So that was the very, very last Pokemon that I had. So I had one left there, so I timed that perfectly. But apparently the Fissure really messed them up there on the Inteleon. I guess that would have been their answer to my last Pokemon. All right, people, this is going to be our last battle here of today's video. This is a really, really long battle. What theme team is it? Let me know in the comment section. Let me try and give you a clue here. How do I give you a clue about this theme team? I'm thinking. It's time to chaz it up. There you go. There's your thing. Anyway, so we got the Politoed go for Hypnosis here. I actually did this battle a very long time ago too, compared to my other ones. So I think my computer was, it was getting very close to needing a restart, and it's on its way anyway. So I think there might have been a couple of minor little glitches here, but it was still okay. So Politoed's going to go for Belly Drum on the first turn. I'm like, uh-oh, this is bad. I'm gonna get set up on, but what moves is it going to have? So it's a pair. Ojama Green is going to use Pound, so I understand why they use that move for. If you understand the theme, you understand why they use that move. So anyway, they're going to go for Metrodon now. So it's got another Metrodon Pokemon. So it's got Belly Drum and then Pollen Puff. So Pollen Puff is not going to do much because it is a special move. So Snorlax going to wake up and go for Hyper Beam. Man, Belly Drum Pound only on Pidgeotto Channel. You're not going to see that anywhere else in your lifetime. So yeah, that's down. So I was thinking, okay, what's the next one, right? So the next one here we've got is going to be Munchlax. So it's father versus son, you could say. So now the Munchlax is going to be going for Curse. I thought this is going to be really, really tanky. What should I do here? Maybe this will be a good Pokemon to use Zangoose on, because it's going to be really bulky. But I want to see what their special defense was like anyway. So Hype Beam is a 3-hit KO. So definitely got an Everlight on here. So it's going to be a Bite set. So it was Curse and Bite and Last Resort too. So that did a lot of damage. That took my Snorlax out there. So another Last Resort Pokemon. We had them, back to back here. So our next Pokemon here is going to be Gligar. So Gligar, the defensive one, can poison them. And it's funny that Snorlax itself gets immunity, but not this at all. Munchlax does not get immunity, which is curious. I guess that the abilities and stuff, when they evolve, they get new abilities and such like that. But I feel like this is a Pokemon. Munchlax is a Pokemon that could get immunity too. So I'm going for my combination there of Toxic and Sand Tomb, but I don't really know if this Pokemon has any way of healing at all. But I haven't seen any other moves like Rest because I've got Last Resort, so obviously that can't be the case, and they can't swap either, which is good. So this is the last turn for the Munchlax. It is going to feint to all the Toxic and Sand Tomb stuff. I could go for Rest here and get my health back, and I opted for that because I didn't know what other Pokemon were going to be in the back there. If there was going to be any other really other hard hitters and stuff like that. So Gligar is back to full health. Here comes the Last Resort. That was doing a lot. That was nearly a 2-hit KO, which was pretty impressive. I don't know how much EVs they had in their attack at all, but from the damage I did to them, I'd say they're going to be quite bulky, something like max health and max special defense. So overall bulk, and they just had like +1 from the Curse, and relied on the high base power of Last Resort, I'm assuming. Next Pokemon is going to be Dragapult. So Dragapult is going to be a pain. I really need to get a Toxic on that. All of my other moves are not really going to do much. And then it had Surf. I'm like, uh-oh, this is very, very bad. So Surf is going to fate my Gligar. In fact, it's going to fate my other Gligar as well. So in comes the Zangoose here. Zangoose at least has Night Slash, so that can do something here. Night Slash is going to be, I'd say, a 2-hit KO because I've, judging on the others ones I've seen before, I think even a sweeping one probably will, just leave that outside of something like maybe a critical hit there. So I thought about go for Belly Drum here for a while. So I thought, well, Surf, that won't do much, unless it's Choice Specs or something like that. That'd be the only time that I'd really be worried about getting hit by Surf. So instead of that, they're going to go for Will-O-Wisp. Like, oh, that sucks. So now I've got a Zangoose that's not going to be doing donkeys right. So I'm going to go for Night Slash. Like, this is probably not even going to do half. And it did, it's a 3-hit KO, right? At least I got some damage, but I didn't have an answer to Ghost-type Pokemon very well at all. That was a bit of a problem with this team. So Surf is a 2-hit KO. I've got my Citrus Berry, so that's going to allow me to get another Night Slash off against this, which will be good, right? So go for Night Slash again, and I was like, wow, the next one will actually faint us. That's good. I'm pretty sure I can live one more Surf here and take it out. So here comes another Surf from the Dragapult, and I lived it, which is great. So that's going to be the end of Dragapult. So actually, I want to say I might have got close to one-shotting that. So of course I got the crit on the very last. That would have been good on the first turn. I don't think it would have. It wouldn't have taken out being burned though, but it would have done like heaps. Our next Pokemon is going to be Berserker. So Berserker's probably going to have Fake Out in this situation. There wasn't much point doing anything because it was already like burned or whatever like that. So that is going to be the end of the Zangoose here. So that's 3 Pokemon down. Now we've got 2 more here. So this is going to be my Choice Scarf Zangoose. I thought, well, I may as well just get rid of this thing. Or I could give it an item and then freely, be able to do Final Gambit and Throat Chop and stuff like that. But I thought it's probably not worth it. I'd say it's going to be a threat here. So let's go for the Final Gambit. So that's going to be enough to take out one shot and sack my Zangoose. I sort of begun to regret that a little bit later on, as you get to see. So that's the end of Berserker. Now, the next Pokemon I thought to bring in is going to be my Snorlax. This is where the battle actually started to get really, really long. So there's a section here that I'm going to be speeding everything up. But anyway, before that, we had a Hitmontop come in. I thought Terra Ghost could be nice against a fighting type, and then I could go for the Fissure. That could be quite a good idea. The reason I had obviously the reason I had Ghost on quite a few Pokemon as Terra is because I had 4 Pokemon that were normal, right? So they're going to go Protect first turn, which is fine. I went for Fissure, so they've got Protect. So that's not much of a worry at all. I know they probably got some sort of fighting move. Well, I was thinking they did, right? So I've got that Fissure. I outsped them. I'm like, what? How did I outspeed them? But I was like, wait, it's got a negative priority move. So I was like, is this counter? So there's the Focus Sash, and it's using Endeavor. So I was like, oh, it used Endeavor, so it's got no moves to hit me with. And so it was a counter and Endeavor set. So I had to quickly there was a fairly long, bit between that, but it only had a counter and Endeavor, that's it. So this bit I had to speed up a lot because this thing went for a very, very long time. So let me give you the breakdown here. So they had a Crabominal, right? It had Iron Head and it had Ice Hammer. I outsped it because it obviously due to the speed drops of Ice Hammer, that allowed Snorlax to go first. Their problem was they actually couldn't feint me here. And also my problem was I couldn't land a Fissure to feint them. Now, technically here, I had won the battle. I could go for Rest and Sleep Talk over and over and over again till I actually got it. I even had Smackdown as well. So Smackdown was doing little bits of damage there to it, but nothing significant at all. So I was trying to get Rest and Sleep Talk to land the Fissure. So I tried to swap my Gligar, and that turn they went for Ice Hammer. So that was a bit unfortunate there. I probably could have taken that out, but I took a bit of a risk because I knew I could wake up and go for the rest again. So Snorlax is going to be all the way back to its full health again here. I actually cut out a big portion of this battle. So virtually I was at the stage, right, well, we're getting pretty close to the end of the battle, right? The 20-minute timer is coming. I'm not going to stall this out completely because I wanted to see if I could get it first, but it got down to a really low amount of time here. And I used my my final rest here. I think we had 50 seconds of the battle left where I cut here. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go for a rest, a Sleep Talk. Hopefully I get Fissure. If I don't and it gets down to the last turn of me using Rest or Fissure, I'm going to go for Fissure instead because I want to see if I can win with Fissure. If I don't, I don't. I don't mind if I lose the battle. So I got down to the last turn. I didn't use Rest to win. I went for the Fissure here because I had a couple of them left. And I went for the Fissure against the Crabominable. But unfortunately, Fissure is going to miss, and the Crabominable is going to fake me. But I could have been a scumbag and stalled there, but I didn't want to, right? I wanted to get the salty Fissure KO, but it never happened. Anyway, people, I hope you enjoyed the immunity ability battle. Quite a cool ability. Some Pokemon actually need this ability, I reckon. And yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow for another video. Might be that Metronome team. Peace.